Fuck Phat and Spicy.
Indeed.
Yeah. How you been? What's up, bro? Welcome
Hey,
back.
man. Another week of the Phat and Spicy Show. Are you serious?
Dude, another one. And then guess what's gonna happen next week? Another one.
What episode are we on? This is like, what, 114, I think?
Yeah, we're 114. 114, dude.
114 episodes.
Dude,
And I think we might have snuck in like 2 or 3 special editions in there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely some in there that are undocumented. Let's not get political, all right?
No. Oh, wait. Should we get political?
No, I was just talking about because I said undocumented.
Well, I mean, you know,
just
I still haven't seen your green card, Fatsy.
It's in the Uno deck.
All right. You got the reversey.
I got it, man. But no, how you been, man? How was your Halloween, dude?
Halloween was great.
Did you dress up?
No, I don't dress up. But I just sit at the front door. I was literally playing my WWE game, standing up at the TV while I was waiting for people to ring my front door.
You did?
Dude, we went through like almost $275 worth of candy. It was a ton. We've got one of the busiest. There's 2 main streets in this town.
Let me ask
and I'm on one of them.
Before I judge
neighborhoods.
I'm gonna give you a chance to redeem yourself. Dude, what size candy do you pass on?
I don't give full bars, dude. But I don't buy like the cheap Smarties and Dum Dums. We give chocolate. Okay. You're gonna get Snickers. You're gonna get almond. I like Almond Joy, so I save a bunch of those for
now. What size Snickers? All right, because now lately I've been seeing these small little squares.
No.
Yeah, because you have the mini bars, right?
The small squares are what the women buy when they're on their periods. They can sit in bed and cry and pop these things. That's not that you don't give those away for Halloween.
Go ahead and hit that disclaimer real quick, Dave.
Oh yeah, by the way, here we go. The opinions expressed on the Phat and Spicy Show do not represent PNS Studios. All right, there we go. So anyway,
so every time he's gonna say something, and we got
you forced me to it.
We had to hit the disclaimer because it's gonna happen.
It's too dark in here. Daylight saving time fucked me up. I can't wear the sunglasses anymore. Where are my regular glasses? I can't even find my regular glasses. All right, so you had Halloween, you got daylight saving time, we got Thanksgiving on the way. What are you doing in your life?
Daylight saving time. I was at work, right? I'm at work. It's 2:00 in the morning, and then it's like 2:30, 2:59, 2:00. I was like, well, that's great because I don't get off till 6:00 in the morning. So I'm like, hey, but we actually get so. They let us get off at 5:30, which was technically 6:30 without not including daylight savings.
You get overtime for any of that?
No, we just got extra.
They just let you off. Okay.
Yeah, we just got extra hours sleep if you want to count that. So I sat there, I tried to explain daylight saving times to a child, dude. It's like my daughter asked me, so how does that work? I'm just like, it's a simple concept. And it's just like you get an extra hour. That's it. You go to sleep. The time you have to wake up is pushed back a little bit.
So I'm having the same problem. My kids, my boys, who are straight A students, amazing at math, 6th grade boys. I mean, they're really brilliant children. I don't know how I got them, but
yeah, you had to buy them.
He come to me and he goes, so do I set my clock forward or do I set the alarm back? I don't understand. I'm like, what part of just set the clock? You don't have to fuck with the alarm. It'll all work out. Well, do we have to go to bed early? I'm like, no, dude. Things change. Look at the clock. I moved it. It's still 8:00. They don't get it. I don't know. Was it just different because it was such a big deal when we were kids?
I don't know.
It was a big deal when I was a kid because my dad had a lot of clocks, so I had to run around the house and set all the clocks. It was something for me.
Oh, that's horrible.
No, I loved it.
I could imagine.
That's one thing in my house. You come over, you're gonna notice I have clocks everywhere. But I'm a stickler for time. I like to be on time.
That you are this guy. 3 hours before the show, I'm in the middle of a nap. Hey, wake up. I'm like, it's 3 hours for the show. I'm an old man.
I didn't say we're doing the show. I said put the link up so that we can get ready. I like the pre-show. Anyway, we've done that. Did you get the haul of candy?
But that's good though. So let me ask you real quick. But real quick before I ask you, introduce our guest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome the one, the only, the Porto Pints, the bar that I work at, our bar manager. Also, I think Porto Pints South Beach, He's the bar manager down there, and soon to be the Fat and Spicy mascot, Psycho Sean. Sean, how you doing, homie?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, we love it. We love it. You and I have known each other what, a little over 2 years now, I think.
Yeah, just about
Just
that.
just about
Yeah,
that.
the place got bought and they rehired you, I think, a little over a year and a half ago. So I've had the distinct displeasure of working beside you.
I know. Earlier before the show, you were telling us how much you just hated this guy. You know,
Oh my
and you were
god!
like primary
Yeah,
advocate for him not to get rehired.
yeah. I'm constantly having to like give him a hug and say, please, please, Spicy, stop crying. Everything will be fine.
You catch him in the freezer in the
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I'm like, come out, please, come out of the walk-in. Everything will be okay.
He's just in there hugging pizza dough.
Just back away from the ledge, please. Yeah. So, you know what he's like.
I know. He's a very sentimental guy, right?
Sentimental guy.
We've got a lot in common. We talk about a lot of stuff and totally get each other's references. Play a lot of the same games, love a lot of the same movies, pretty much the same age, the same comedians that we're like super steeped in. We get each other's like jokes and references, and I think that's what like Mr. Spice likes about me, is that like he tries to drop little gems on people and it just goes right over their head, and
Nobody gets him.
I'm like, dude, I got you, and he's like, God, I love you so much.
He'll give me the side eye when I drop something that nobody gets, and he'll just kind of give me the chicken eye, like,
Yeah, like,
I know.
I'm not gonna say it, but I know. Yeah. So
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
So, did you guys grow up in the same area? Or?
No, I'm from Portland. I just moved.
I only moved to. Yeah, we're both kind of like recent additions to this community. Him a little earlier than me, but I only moved here like 3 years ago. And how long ago did you move here from Portland?
Going on 8 now.
Okay, yeah. So he beat me here, got established, and then I had to like drag him back in to the pub to get some work done, and yeah, it's been a good time. I was really like flattered to be invited. Honestly, I was like, I don't know what these guys are gonna like want to hear me talk about. Just like Joe Schmo from the pub, but I don't know. I love games. I have a lot of the same like hobbies and creative outlets as you guys. So I imagine we have a lot in common.
But you take it to the next level, because while I will buy extravagant board games that take, that you have to read 3 volumes to understand the rules, just like you actually like paint your own miniatures, and you got like the Warhammer thing going on, and you RP like what we do, but you do it with like what is it, Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, I've been doing that recently. I like used to live in the Bay Area, and I was like a game hipster. I was like, I didn't play D&D, and I didn't play Warhammer, and I didn't play Magic the Gathering. I played all these like weird like niche games, and I played like really competitively in some things. I was like top 25 in the world in Axis and Allies miniatures for like a weird like World War II miniatures game for a little while. Right before COVID, I had just won Northern California Prime Championship of Keyforge, which is like a procedurally generated deck game where like each deck was totally unique. And I was getting ready to go to the World Championships in Minnesota. And when COVID hit, and I had to like try to get a refund for my plane ticket and all of that kind of stuff. So I was like really into like weird, like, but at a competitive level, some like pretty cool games. And then when I moved up here, like it's very remote where we live. I don't know how much you guys know about Crescent City. I mean, I know how much Anson knows about Crescent City, but I don't know.
Shared it with the group that we're in the middle of
how much the world knows about Crescent City, but it's pretty remote. So I was like, all the things I said I would never do, I had to do. Like I had to start playing D&D, I had to start playing Magic again, and I had to start playing Warhammer, because those are like the 3 most popular games in their spaces. It's the most likely to get a game or to go out.
You find actually people to actually play with. I know.
Yeah, so I'm just like rolling with it. And honestly, like I swore I would never paint a mini in my life, and like I am. I don't know if I can even show. I'm like getting really into it now. I've got like all these You know, Death Corps of Krieg, little dudes like World War I themed guys for Kill Team, which is like the squad based Warhammer game. I don't know.
They're cool.
I'm going all in on a lot of stuff because I don't have access to all the weird shit I used to.
I know. I got some buddies that actually paint like the Warhammer figurines, and they spend hundreds of dollars, man. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's the most expensive tabletop game you could possibly get into. It's like $50 for 3 little dudes, and you got to build them and paint them.
Yeah.
And you need like, in order to field like a full size army, you need like, I don't know, got like 10 or 20 of those little $50 groups of guys, depending on the army. It's like a lot of money, and
you're
it's
spending
$500
to $1,000 on just one army on the table.
And you don't even know how to play yet, right? So you're like, I like this, and it looks cool, and then you buy it, and you find out like,
this is no good.
This thing sucks. So you built it and you painted it and you put it on the table, and now you need to like just shove it to the side and buy more so that you can win a game. So it's totally like the worst game for new players like in the history of ever. And I got into Warhammer at like the worst time, was like right at the end of version 9. So I learned the rules and I like built my army, and they're like, nope, we're going to cancel all those rules. We're going to have a completely new rule set. You have to buy all new books. So, and the books are like $60 each. So it's like, unless you have nothing better to do, I really don't recommend you fucking get into that shit at all. Like, who could afford it? I honestly, like, one of the biggest threads I ever had on Reddit was when I went on the Warhammer 40K subreddit, and I was like, how the fuck do people get into this game? Like, it's unbelievably difficult to play. It's unbelievably difficult to purchase. It's unbelievably difficult to like paint, and like the barrier to entry is like so preposterous.
What about the rules to like the Warhammer universe? Are they like complex? Do you need to know the novels and all that?
You don't have to know the novels.
I don't mean that. I mean like, are there novels of instructions and whatnot?
I have never learned a more complicated tabletop, and they do exist. Like tabletop miniatures armies games get insane. Like they call like grownards. There's an entire category of gamers out there who love to like replicate and simulate like Napoleonics and like those kind of things, and they get really deep. Oh, have you ever been to like a big game convention? The war gamers are nuts, man. They're fucking nuts. They'll like build and paint an entire Napoleonic army so that they can play one game with somebody for 8 hours. You know, like it's just insane stuff. So like, there are harder games in terms of rules and stuff than 40K, but not that I've played. You know, it's a toughie. Like, you really got to like that stuff. You got to really like to learn about game mechanics and shit. You know, like,
I wonder if there's anybody that's just like too far in. They're like, you know what? I have to learn about this game now that I'm so invested.
I mean, that's kind of like, that's what
he's at.
You know, it's kind of like if you decided you were going to like build a car, right? And you like bought the engine and you bought the chassis and all this stuff. And like at a certain point, you're like, holy shit, I got to put all this shit together. You know, like you're like, I can't return it. You know, like it's,
trust me, I'm there.
Or this shit's going to be on blocks in my front yard for like the rest of my life. You know?
Oh yeah. I've had my 62 Impala for.
I mean, that's what it feels 18. Like. Even like Henry Cavill, the guy who played like Superman, he's talked about this. You have your pile of gray shame. It's all of your Warhammer and gray miniatures shame. Still on sprues. It's this gray plastic that you like never built and you never painted. And there's all these memes that go around in Warhammer like, oh, I'm gonna finish all my stuff before I buy any more. And like nobody ever does, right? Like you're just like see the shiny thing and you're like, so I don't know. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but
no, that's good.
It's good.
That's what we love. We wanted to know. We wanted to know the world of a Warhammer player.
Yeah, and so I have been doing role playing again. I have been playing Magic, and I have been doing tabletop miniatures, and I've been gaming a lot. I just bought what is it? Metal Slug Tactics on Steam today. Like a turn-based, like 8-bit strategy game. That was, and I spent 2 hours playing it before the show. I almost like.
I know. I saw you on Steam playing it.
I
like
didn't make it in time.
games.
Yeah,
I do. I love turn-based games.
and it's
Jacob. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you know how we play D&D with Aaron on Mondays. We were talking about maybe one of these days getting a Shadowrun thing going. Just he and I, just joining one of his groups. But one of the coolest games I found online is it's called Shadowrun Returns, and it's one of the best role-playing turn-based games out there. I love it. Turn-based games.
I'll tell you where I'll tell you where I'm at with that. Right. So last night, last night. So about 12 o'clock, 11:30. Right. I can't sleep, so I sat down in the living room and I watched TV. No, I don't. My brain's just active. I need to do something. I need to stimulate my mind. Chat GPT. Okay. So for the love of me, I know for a fact that you can create games with Chat GPT. Now, my mind was like, can I play a game with Chat GPT? So I went through and I created this game and I said, hey, create me a campaign, a small short D&D campaign, a style like
you can play with the computer.
And I was playing D&D with Chat GPT. It gave me some characters to choose from. I said I can make adjustments, and like if it gives me female characters, I was like, oh, give me male characters or make one of them a wizard, and then it gives me this list, and then I go through. So from like 11 o'clock to like 3 in the morning, dude, to like 4 in the morning, I'm playing Chat GPT D&D. So and the thing about Chat GPT, it has the little the button where you can make it talk back. And the crazy thing about
loud, you have a DM?
The crazy thing about AI is that you would think it's that that voice that's like, and then you go over. It's not that. It's not it's actual voice. AI is crazy, so it sounds like a voice.
Can you put like the inflection, like you walk into the dungeon?
It's close. It's close. It does add some little little
inflection.
Yeah, little emphasis on some words. And it was the first time and the only time it's done it, but it actually added, I said, you hear the door close and it hurt. And I was like, what? I was like, it just did that. Cool. But again, I'm using the free version of ChatGPT. There are some things, obviously, it's not perfect. So there are times where I have to update the memory and be like, hey, don't forget you gave me this much gold for this. Add that to my inventory, because I'll constantly check my inventory, see what I have. So I have to sometimes I have to manually add my stuff back in. So, but I went through, dude. There was a village that was blighted by a fog, and I'm an arcane wizard. Yeah, I'm an arcane wizard, and I went through, and there was this magical tower. Well, I had all of my dialogue was literally all of my game was literally dialogue of me haggling and finagling with the merchants. And I was before I even got to the quest, before I even got to the main quest. So by the time I got to the main quest, I done got me an orb of withholding paths or something. I don't know. It's a future orb. It takes me to other realms, but it also gives me untold knowledge and stuff like that. So I got it off this lady. She was shady. I didn't do no combat.
A shady lady with an orb, huh?
She was a shady lady that was in the midst of the I would say
she was a hazy shady lady.
She was the little shop center, the shopping center. So there was like a couple stalls, and there was a little shady.
The bazaar, yeah.
So I went over there to talk to her, and she was like, "I'll give you the orb," because I did a scan. I scanned for any magical items, and it told me that there was a particular item over there that was
an AI let you know that this was there.
Yeah. So it lets me know. So I go over there and I talk to the lady, and she's like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And she can tell that I'm being pulled in because of the dialogue he's telling me. She's like, she sees you and she like looks at you with these eyes, like a gleaming eye. It's all detailed out. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to seem too interested. So I'm saying back, I'll ask her about the other stuff in the shop without giving too much notion that I'm interested in the orb. And then it creates a dialogue that says you lean in and you request and you blah, blah, blah. Or I can just write directly what I write and say. So like,
shut up.
Yeah, dude, I tell you, I was having the best time.
After the show, I don't even want to have a post-show interview. I'm going to go try this. This is,
oh man, dude.
Sean, you should give it a shot and see. I wonder if I could have it play Vampire the Masquerade with me.
There's anything you want to, like, you just give it, because I specifically asked it for a fantasy theme. D&D style like campaign.
So I can speak to that specifically because I just recently bought the old 1990s Robotech role-playing game.
God! Yes.
And I bought
what Mech Warrior was based on.
All of the source books, and I went on ChatGPT, and I was like, "Hey, build 4 characters that have the transforming bike suit." And give them give them a loadout and different styles of bikes, and then it built it all. And then I was like, okay, now what is, because these guys, I don't know if you guys remember the old cartoon, but these are the Invid. They kind of look like they're like aliens.
Like little lobsters.
Yeah. And I was like, now create a battle scenario with a number of invid that is balanced for these characters and their suits and their loadouts. And it was like, okay, take one of these and one of these and one of these. And so it was like within seconds, I was able to create a scenario for like a starter like one shot for this game. If somebody had never played before, I could be like, here's your character, and then here's the rules real quick, and here's like a balanced fight. Because the hardest thing a lot of times in DMing, particularly in systems that you're not comfortable with, is that like you just don't know where to begin, or you don't know how to like give the right amount of stuff to. It's like it's either too easy or too hard for the people playing. But like the ChatGPT can sort that out for you in a hurry. You can be like, hey, build me a scenario for 5 level 4 D&D characters or whatever, and it'll sort out kind of like the details so you don't miss so hard if you're trying to do stuff like that.
Let me ask you that, Jacob, as far as like our D&D campaign goes, how do you feel about the balance of like difficulty to where we're at? Because I feel like we're going into something that's going to be super hard that we might not survive, because we've had like little skirmishes and almost not survived.
I'll tell you what.
How do you feel about
that? I think we're doing good. For anybody that's watched the show, Critical Idiots is a show that we do on Mondays, where it's just us and a couple buddies that we get around and we play D&D. Right now, we are essentially in the rubble of what remains of the tavern that was exploded.
Sorry.
So we cast the fireball
on a blanket. In a room full of barrels of alcohol. That's but
where we're at.
Be fair, you threw the blanket on the rats, and you knew I was going to light that blanket on fire. So I think we did a good thing.
I know, right? But we are now headed into this master dungeon, of rats with brains coming out of their head,
and sometimes lightning shoot like little blue lightning sparks.
Yeah,
out of the brain.
So I think, but as of right now with our group, I think we're good. I think we have a good system where as long as I'm in the front and I'm tanking, I have in the back, which I didn't want to do. I don't want to do that out the back because that's what it's for. That's the kind of the gameplay that everybody expects, right?
But it's also the dynamic that we need, because who else can tank in our group?
Yeah, but like Aaron says, like he's like, oh, I was expecting you to just be, blah blah blah, like the rest of everybody else, but that's not the way my mind works. Because I'm not thinking about essentially what's going to be best for combat until it gets to that moment. Then I zone in, but I'm thinking about what's best for the story.
Make the scenario and the story.
Yeah,
I
so
know
how my mind works
with you for too long, man. We've been
together.
Yeah.
Because we RP together. But yeah, so first live I've been. What's going on, Mark? I'll say what's up to my little cousin right there.
Hey, Mark. Welcome to the show, homie.
Mark, don't forget to comment down at the bottom. You can win a Steam card for $20, man.
You just got to say the right word.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think it's kind of interesting to hear that you were getting such granular detail out of ChatGPT. Because when I was trying to sculpt some scenarios for that role-playing game, it felt a little like, I don't know, like I had to push it hard to get it to spit out something that wasn't kind of repetitive. So did you feel like I don't know, I think you mentioned that you had to tell it that, how much gold you had or something, but I don't know. It really felt like fresh and like it didn't, I don't know.
There may be a difference because he asked it to play D&D with him. When you asked for a scenario,
I was basically asking it to. I was asking it to write.
I'll tell you what. Like I'll go ahead and I'll show you exactly what. Okay, So this is
you've
me,
got
right?
it here.
This is me, right? So this is when I came upon the merchant. Now this merchant here, I needed more supplies, but me being the charismatic guy that I am, let's see what is going on in this one right here. Many items. These are the ones. Blah blah. So she's trying to sell me a map, and it's a very expensive map. So I tell her, I said, I hold out a pouch of 25 coins in front of me. Perhaps whatever's in this pouch may suffice. Could be gold, could be silver, could be copper. But it is a chance we take when we choose to trust others' words, isn't it? Because she's saying, oh, you had to pay me for the information that I know about where these treasures are at. So I'm like, okay, so I'm trusting your word. Then I want you to trust me. So, that's the dialogue that I have here. You don't know what's in this pouch. You don't know what's in this pouch.
I'm reading it. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually.
So here we go.
Oh, you can make her talk.
Yeah, do it.
The merchant's gaze flickers toward the pouch you offer, their eyes narrowing with a mix of interest and skepticism. They step forward slowly, their movements deliberate as they take the pouch into their hands. They weigh it carefully, shaking it gently, feeling the contents shift.
I'm entwined.
They murmur, their voice soft.
How awesome is
choice
this?
Between certainty and chance. You speak wisely, wizard. A pouch of mixed coin, gold, silver, copper, but it holds value nonetheless. You trust your words, and I trust mine. The merchant's fingers linger on the pouch for a moment, then they look back at you, their expression unreadable. They slowly slide the pouch into a hidden pocket within their robes. Very well, they say, their tone shifting. You seek hidden knowledge. The cost is always more than gold, but in exchange for your faith, I will share this much with you. They step back, raising a hand, their fingers dancing in the air as though pulling invisible threads. The dimly lit room seems to grow even darker as a faint glow emanates from a shelf in the corner. The merchant gestures toward it, and as your eyes adjust, you see a small, intricately carved map glowing faintly on the shelf. This is a map of forgotten paths, they say, their voice almost reverential. It will guide you to places lost to time.
Sometimes
did he say it's a shmap?
Sometimes he
crypts that hold the lost relics you seek.
Okay,
Follow it well,
hold on. Pause this for a second.
Find what you desire. But remember, wizard, the paths it shows are fraught with danger.
This is nuts.
That's amazing. Right. Honestly, I also want to do this after we get done.
That's what I'm saying. I want to feel like what we can do.
I was sitting here and like this, and I tell you what, this is one of the more off-putting dialogues that I had, because the merchant before this, Mr. Gearspark, he was the first merchant shop that I walked into whenever I was trying to navigate through this fog. So, and I went in there, and this guy, but the dialogue that I had with this guy was, oh my God, top tier, dude. When I tell you it was top tier, like I was doing
top tier.
Oh man, dude.
That's
like awesome. The
Jonathan
Colton song, Future Soon. Like, it's here, dude. You can create something out of nothing.
So the same system that I have for Robotech, but the same company, they made Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they made basically ninjas and super spies, which is like kind of like James Bond, and you can like learn any kind of martial arts, and they have rules for every kind of different type of martial arts. And I want to play this with that system, where
right?
where you're like a superhero, like, or like a super kung fu spy, or like mutant, like, animal. Oh my God, it just like sounds like just a ton of fun.
Yeah, dude. Like I said,
we're actually talking about our next D&D campaign. I think I want to play a monk, just like a, something different.
Was that Chewbacca?
Just
no,
the
monk,
like no weapon.
No weapon, but you just can't touch the guy. He's just too fast.
Right.
I want to see it. I want to see if I can do it. I'd like to try it. So these games are getting more and more intricate. We have ChatGPT, which is really throwing this in it and making it as real as possible. These games, like what we were talking about before the show, if you guys have watched us for a long time, you have even GTA 5, our 5M that we play. It's so realistic. It's almost like a simulator.
Yeah,
and
man,
here we are now in this world where every other day I go on Steam and I see Something Simulator. And then lo and behold, Jacob, I find out you're playing TCG Simulator.
Oh my God. I
But
was playing
at
it
the
too.
same time, I shit you not. If you look on my it's on the Fat and Spicy, or not the Fat and Spicy, but then at the new Spicy on Twitch, I was just playing Police Simulator Traffic Patrol. It just, what is it with Sean, you said you were playing something that was a simulator.
Okay, when we talked earlier, I told you that I was playing Farm Simulator, and then the one that I probably spent the most time on was Fishing Simulator, where you are like a fisherman and you like actually like setting nets and sailing around and upgrading your fishing boat and getting better gear and better. It's like it's like a job grinding game. But then I had completely forgotten about TCG Simulator, because I played that too up until like level 15 or 20, where you've got your card game store and you're buying product and putting it on the shelf and ringing people up. You're like having to
You
physically
even
ring
open like
everybody
packs and
up.
stuff.
Yeah, open packs, ring people up and give them change. Like you have to give everybody change, like
So
specifically.
you actually really,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can.
and it's and I couldn't believe, like I got into that game about like a couple hours in, and I was like, I'm working right now. Like I'm at work,
That's the worst.
and and I'm being paid in fun, not money, right? But this is
that's something,
th-
right? I'm being
this.
paid in fun.
No, I think that's how, in some games, like the Fishing Simulator in particular, was just very like, it was very calming. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a shooter. There's no PvP. There's no like, I trip out, like where I get weird with it is like I'm shocked at the like people want to do the like um trucker simulators where they're like driving interstate, going the speed limit in their like big rig, and
Yeah.
like doing all the driving. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's what people are doing for fun now. People are buying like full setups in their house, so they have like the full realistic simulator like trucker experience. So and that trips me out. And then like the goat simulator and just the weird ones, I don't get that. Like I don't like, some of it's kind of out there a little bit, but I mean, I think people want to break from all of the people calling you horrible names, in these like PvP games. Just, I think people just kind of want to just zone out and do something. At least I know I do, you know?
Yeah. No, dude. Like, I've been playing simulator games since Roller Coaster Tycoon. Since the old Civilization games from back in the day, Age of Empires.
So, like,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you have to distinguish between strategy games and simulator games, because, like, I would say Civ is it's a strategy game. Yeah, it simulates, and Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like they've had all of them. They've had ones where you open your own Jurassic Park or whatever.
You can even invest in stocks.
Yeah, but I think the difference is that like strategy games, it's about like, or like I would say Sim City, right? It technically you're building a city, but like you're trying to win. You're trying to win. Whereas like simulators, it's I don't know. There is an incentive to complete your task or whatever, but it's not as strategic. I don't know if I'm.
I don't. I mean, I can understand that logic. Don't get me wrong. I guess the way that I see it is when you're playing the role like in Civilization, you're playing the role as a king, or you're essentially taking on this role. So it's essentially you being that king, and you decide how your as you would say card shop is going to prosper or not.
Right.
So
I played a lot of the Total War. Do you ever like they have Total War for Rome, they have Total War for I don't know, ancient China and Japan, and it's like it's got this, it's kind of like Civ in that you have this macro thing where you're trying to build up your cities and your armies, but whenever there's a battle it turns into like a real time like
see, I like that.
Yeah, the Total War, and now they've expanded it now where they're doing Total War with Warhammer and like non like non-historical IPs, you know, so that so there's been like really interesting strategy and simulation games for a while, but now they're getting like kind of weird with it. Like the TCG Player one, I never expected that to blow up as much as it did.
Oh
like
yeah,
the goat simulator, like everybody talking
that
about
was like,
the goat simulator, and I was
they have
just
I
like,
love
they
every
have
second
squirrel
of it.
simulator. Squirrel
Oh,
with a
squirrel
gun.
with a gun. Squirrel
Yeah.
with a gun. I want to play squirrel with a gun.
The fishing one was the fishing the Barents Sea, which I didn't realize. I thought it was like Alaska, but it's actually was like in like Norway. It's like the fishing fleet out of like Norway.
I like fishing games. I don't know how to fish. Never fished in my life.
No,
I love fishing games.
It's great. It's a great game. I highly recommend it. And it takes a little bit, like you got to kind of like you got to think about, like, you have to be like a business person. You have to have a strategy. You're going to be like, I'm going to lay these. I'm going to wait this long. I'm going to pick them up. I'm going to process the fish. I'm going to go to this other spot, pick up gas, sell my fish. You know, and like it turns into this rhythm. And then before you know it, you can afford like the cooler, bigger boat that does like goes faster.
It's like you said, it's
or whatever.
It's not about winning. You know what I mean?
It's
It
about
has nothing to
progressing.
do with. It's about. So I'm playing this. What's it called here? I got it written down. Police Simulator Patrol Officer. You go out and you walk the beat. After you progress, you get a car. After you progress, you get like bigger traffic accidents.
So you're doing the cop simulator?
Yeah.
Do you eventually
The
end
nice
up on
thing
the SWAT team, or like?
I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far because it's so mundane. It's just I pull people over for speeding, for not using their blinker, and you have to actually look and watch them do it. Jaywalking. I write tickets all day. Every once in a while, I'll frisk somebody and they'll have a gun on them or something.
Hey, Yusuf, are you watching it? He's rather playing cop somewhere else.
Well, here's the deal: it's like we talked about earlier too. Is sometimes you just don't want to play.
You don't want to deal with other people.
You just
this is how it goes.
I just want to chill and play one of these simulators, dude. I played a game the other day. If you go back to the new Spicy on Twitch or on YouTube, you will see I played a game called The Operator. Dude, this was one of the funnest games I've played in a long time. And it was short and it was simple. All you are is like, how you have like FBI agents in the field, that guy on the computer.
Yeah.
Well, that was me. So they're like, hey, I need you to run a plate for me, or I need you to do this, or here's the video. Can you analyze this and give me a lead? Okay. I know, but I got another one that I played like that. But you're just the guy. You got like all these tools at your disposal to analyze video and run, ballistics and shit like that. That's all you do. You sit at your computer and you do stuff for these operators. And there's like a whole story behind it. Pretty cool.
All right, you made me think of two more. Whenever you're done with your point, I got two more.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so there's you made me think first of what was the like LA crime game where you had to like try to was it called?
No, it was Police Quest.
No, it was newer. It was for
LA Noir.
LA Noir. Thank you.
Oh,
and you had to like go and investigate, and you had to interview people, and then you
interviews.
You had to like
watch their eyes,
guess from their facial expressions whether they were lying and stuff. And it was like there's all those memes like doubt, X doubt. But the probably the most like screwed up simulator I ever played. Did you ever play a game called Papers, Please?
Dude,
so, Papers, Please.
Papers, Please was.
It was dark, dude. You're like basically like a border guard, like checking people's papers to go through the border, and it gets harder.
In a communist country,
and there's like dissidents who are trying to sneak through, and terrorists, and you have like trying to analyze, and every day they make the papers that you have to check more and more complicated. So and that was the first game I gave up, like, because I was like, this feels like fucking work. Like this feels. I feel like I'm like doing something that I should be getting paid for, and eventually I was just. It was so intense. I can't imagine anybody who would love that game because it was just like it was dark and
I didn't hate it. I was at a point in my life where I didn't have the patience for something like that.
Oh, God. And here I got tired of Mechanic Simulator.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
there's so many simulators, right?
I'll tell you what, you go in there, you're like, I'm gonna buy it, because you go and you get these barn finds, right? You find these old Chevelles, you find, what I'm saying, these Dodge darts and stuff, and you go and you find them in the barn. You can either buy them or you can just leave them there. You can buy them and sell them. you know. But when you go and you're like restoring this vehicle from the ground up, I'm talking about frame, brakes. When you get to the motor, you're taking apart piston rings.
Oh,
you know,
they went deep on it, huh?
Spark. I'm telling you, dude, I was over it after about 20 cars, man. I'm like, you know what? Hell with this.
Yo,
20 cars.
It starts to feel like work. It's like it's like good. Some of them scratch the itch in like a really nice way, and some of them you're like, okay, this is interesting. I'm checking it out, and then eventually you're like, dude, like I want to grind, but I don't want to grind. You know, like
one simulator that got
I'll
to
be
me.
the first to tell you that I burned out on grinding a long time ago, dude. Like
I don't know. There's like a level that's appropriate, you know, and it just changes, you know, based on how fun the game is. I think I don't know.
But look at my wife with Power Wash Simulator. She'll play that.
Oh
She's
my!
been playing that for 3 years. She
Oh,
bought the
I heard
sequel.
about
She's
that.
just, and all she does is sit there and just clean houses. I'm like, bitch.
I got a buddy that does that. Say he'll sit there. He's like, I'm just playing power washing these playgrounds in this house. I'm like, what are you? Why?
Yeah.
He's like, I like it. I
Why?
like it. I love it. I'm like, what is
So-
wrong?
I think it falls under the same category as like an ASMR. It's so mind-numbingly nothing that you can switch the fuck off for a minute, because that's something that people don't really get to do very often, especially in our political and whatever climates. Is you don't just get to, you know, you're faced with it so long that it's so mundane.
Where it bites you is like you told me about how you were driving a cab and then you came home and played Cab Simulator and your wife was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And I got the same exact thing from my wife because I live on 5 acres and we've got all this brush to clear.
Bar Manager Simulator?
And oh god, no, never, ever, fucking ever. But we've got all this brush to clear. We've got all this mowing to do, and like I'm like on Farm Simulator, like harvesting, you know, alfalfa. And she's like, "Are you mowing? Are you mowing on a
farming simulator?
Are you mowing on a computer game? And you're not gonna like mow the lawn that's waiting for you right now?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to say."
If only you could control the lawnmower there, you know.
No, that's the future. Actually, the future is like the AI is mowing the lawn and like feeding you a D&D, dungeon at the same time.
At the same time,
I did see that this guy was selling this lawnmower that hooks up to the GPS and stuff, and you kind of like
it's like a Roomba.
Yes,
yeah, it's like a Roomba for outside. It just cuts
Yeah.
grass all times of the night. It just comes out, charges itself. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, and I think that's our future, right? Is actually the AIs will be like creating all of us our own like ideal simulator game. They're like, this is what Spicy likes to do the most to chill out, and I'm gonna put all of his favorite little references and stuff in there, and you're like, oh, this game is perfect for me, and it's like, I know.
Well, I've been saying that about social media. Is that at some point
algorithm.
Yeah. At some point,
none
it's
of
going
us
to know.
three don't have the same algorithm on the phones.
No. But what I'm saying is, it's going to know each one of us's algorithm, and at what point is AI going to create fake content,
like literal content
Sean,
just for
Spicy?
you?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I get tired of seeing big booty shaking on my phone. You know, I'm not in that. It's not my algorithm.
So can I talk about that for a minute? You know, I love the TikTok, Jacob. You know that, like, that's my thing. I lay in bed before I go to sleep, and I watch. Shut up. And I watch TikTok. And there's you know, and I'll tell you, I either got baby monkeys. Now that I have a cat and I've been watching cat stuff, I get cat stuff, or I get these guys that are like, "Hey man, I'm not going to give you my ID because this is an illegal stop." Well, no, dude, you were speeding. Shut the fuck up. And I don't even want to know what you guys got on your algorithm, but every once in a while, have you seen the thing where it'll like show you something and then all of a sudden you'll see some chick's butthole?
Yeah. It's like, you know, we know we were interested in colonoscopies one time. Here you go, pow. You still like that?
I mean, on TikTok,
I heard about
even hiding it.
I heard about the breastfeeding tutorials.
Those come up too. And you'll just see some chick pop out a tit, and then I'm like, "What the hell?" And then she holds a real baby. It's not like even a toy. It's like a real baby. I'm like, I don't need this. The fact that I watch it for 4 seconds shows up on my feed every fucking hour.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm
sick of the.
The crazy part about it is I don't know. I'm not sure how the algorithm works, but you have to scroll past these videos, right? So you're watching them. So I'm not sure if it kicks in after a certain amount of time. You know,
that's what I'm wondering. because I've moved shit after like 2 seconds. I'm like, what is this? Nah, I don't want to see this.
Well,
But then it
quick,
shows
in
it.
reference to the monkey thing, dude, you said earlier. I found this out earlier today.
What's this?
So apparently,
Oh, I heard about this today.
Oh
yeah,
yes.
monkey,
Yeah, they were telling people to lock their windows.
yeah,
Like, lock your windows. The monkeys are coming.
The monkeys are coming, dude.
47
finally
monkeys
happened.
or something, dude. And it's crazy. And but the crazy, it's there's from a research facility. They say
So what
that
have they got?
They say that they're too young. They're what the thing is, they're saying that you're too young right now to carry any diseases. But the CDC says you're safe unless you come in contact with them.
Well, I'm safe unless I come in contact with a serial killer. That doesn't mean anything.
So I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
but, like,
which one is it? You know what I'm saying?
Did they just release 43 serial killers out of a research facility in your community?
Yeah. Where we live, Sean, I wouldn't fucking doubt it.
It could happen, actually.
It could absolutely happen.
We got the Supermax. Your wife works there. Shit.
She sure does. Don't go out to the swamps.
Yeah,
No, what's fucked up is where I live in Fort Dick. I got a river on one side of me, the ocean on the other side of me, and a lake on the other side, and then right here's a prison. So I'm fucking trapped. There's no escape.
Yep. Just know that my wife will go down before you do. So take comfort in that.
Your wife will do what now?
Nothing.
She's gonna go down before you.
Shit. Sean,
it's that scene.
This is a relationship. This is a relationship.
He's like, why are you taking? He's like the murder. He's like what is it? The murderer's coming. He's like, why are you taking your shoes off? He's like, I don't gotta outrun him. I just gotta outrun you. Crazy. But yeah, dude.
So I want to ask though, because we've been playing these weird games, right? Like these often games. What is a very obscure game that you don't think anybody would ever know? And just a couple of sentences, because I know we're running out of time, that both of you have played that you're like, nobody will know this, and I thought all playing out of it. Old, new, whatever.
Oh, you go first. I think I got one.
Patsy?
A game that I enjoy playing that I don't think anybody else would play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Let me pull them. Okay, I got one. I'll go first. It's a Steam game called oh god, where is it? It's BattleTech. It's just called BattleTech. And it's basically it's the
MechWarrior Light.
They took all of the rules from the BattleTech tabletop game and they put it in a turn-based Steam game. So it's all
these expansions.
It's all automated, and that game was so much fun. I think my buddy bought it for me for Christmas because he just like he's one of these like uber PC nerds, and he's like, you got to play this. And I ended up going deep into that game. You build a squadron of mechs, and then you have they're all different sizes and weights, and they have different loadouts and kind of different roles. And you have to like build like a little crew that can go and do these missions. And
you're only allowed so much tonnage, and
you're only allowed so much tonnage. And if any of your mechs like gets destroyed, it's gone. Like it's gone. It's gone
and
forever.
When they're damaged, you have to pay to repair them.
Yeah, correct. And then you can't use them for several missions while they're repairing or whatever. So it's like I think all last winter I played the hell out of that. Like it was really, really fun. So
Mr. GB, who is a very avid patron of our show, loves the MechWarrior universe, loves the BattleTech universe thing. This is his thing, and he when he and I play MechWarrior 5 together, we play co-op. I will literally get so high and drunk waiting for him in the mech lab, sometimes for up to an hour. That's his thing. Me, I'm more of like the strategist, like when we're on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But he will build an army of mechs that you cannot stop.
They put all of the mechanics in there. Like one of the things in BattleTech is that your mech has heat sinks. Like it will build up heat as it runs around and as it shoots its guns and stuff.
I overheat too much,
and you have to be able to get rid of it. And that's actually a strategy: is to attack them with like flamethrowers and stuff to build up your opponent's heat so that their mechs will shut down, and then vice versa. You want to make sure that your mechs are always like have like well adequate heat sinks so that you never lose any turns. They put all the little minutia of the game in there, and it made it just like really fun and deep. Great game. Great game.
Tatsy, what about you, man?
I got this game right
Medieval Dynasty.
I put 180 hours.
Oh, I heard about this game. Yeah, where you're like a liege lord kind of thing.
Yeah, you're just kind of like a guy. You just create a little village, and you just make sure that the people don't die. You go hunt meat for them, and you set up like lumber places. They got to cut. You got to assign jobs and stuff. Building in houses for these people, and it gets a little boring at the end because you expect to be fighting. Like you'll run into the occasional thug and stuff, maybe once in a blue moon. And I like combat. So I'm like spending time grinding to get weapons and stuff, and I'm not running into anybody. I'm fighting more bears than anything, and deers than anything. And it's just like, I stopped playing it though because of that. It gets a little repetitive. I like I said, I like the turn-based games. I like the card playing like turn-based games. So like, let's say you have a character, right, and you are boosted the cards. Each card you get is a different power or something. Then you
like
boosts up your player.
Yeah. No, they're like Slay the Spire, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One that I actually I'm looking through my Steam now and I realize is do you ever play Bomber Crew? It's it's a World War II thing where you manage a bomber crew, and they have the same kind of thing for like spaceships where you have like a pilot and like a gunner and like an engineer, and something breaks and you have to like tell the engineer to go fix it, and then you have to tell the gunners.
Cool.
It's like literally it's just crazy time management. You have to manage the like where the you're not like actually flying the plane so much as you're like kind of giving them commands that they have to follow, and the game gets like kind of crazy, and it gets like totally overwhelming where there's just like flak going off and fighters attacking you, and you need to like line up your bomb sites, and it's like, but I grinded that game until I got pretty good at it, honestly, until I could like I just about win it. And then there's an expansion where it's like a U.S. super fortress, and like there's like 5 more guys on the fucking plane that you have to manage, and it's just totally
chaos almost.
Yeah, it's really and you're slowly leveling up your plane with like better armor and better machine guns and stuff, and doing harder missions.
I think for me, like games like that, like stuff like that, like Civilization and stuff, like people look at it, you go into Civilization, like the newer ones, it's crazy because you're talking about concubines, you're talking about your heirs, you're talking about you're talking about forming factions, you're talking about
spies.
The people, everything, spies and sending. So you have like, it's completely like chaotic. If you look at it, you look at the game, you're like, what the fuck is this? I just want to control some troops. No, it's not that. It's more than that. And to me, like that, for the way that my brain works, is going always, like 60 miles an hour. It's fun for me because by the time I get done playing, I'm exhausted and I can go to bed.
But something I got from what you just said is, like the game gives you the option to build an army and win militarily, but there's other ways to win. Like you don't have to fight. Like just like the medieval game you were saying, like you were like, oh, I really like combat, so I got all these weapons and stuff. And I was like, you could probably win that game without like leveling up your weapons very much at all. In some games, it's you can fight if you want, but you can win without it too, which is like, and that's, I think my takeaway, just to circle back all the way back, was that I've been playing Vampire the Masquerade, and all of my characters in Vampire the Masquerade can't fight worth a shit. Like they're horrible in combat. They're just not gonna help the team if there's a fight, but they're like really, really good at everything else. Like, and that's I think that's a really fun game. If you don't,
if we were in the Matrix, Sean would be the Oracle.
Right. Well, like that would be a fun character for me. I think is like,
absolutely. I think you would excel at that.
I've had access to other information.
I think Sean would be the guy that upload the information into the back of your head. Like, you want to know how to fight? I got you right here.
Yeah,
he would.
I know kung fu.
He'd be the bar manager of the Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
For me, I found a game back in the late 90s, and this was back when games came in boxes
Cereal?
with instruction manuals, and they looked like cereal boxes. No shit. This game was called Dreamweb, and not only did there it is right there. You got it already.
Okay.
Look at the graphics on this. Scroll down there a little bit. It was old school shit, right?
Yeah.
Go down a little bit more. There's a couple of cool pictures there of like, there's the gun you found. Here's the guy talking to somebody else at the bottom of the screen. Blah 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 blah. But it came with a book.
Is
and
it
the book
is
was
it like
about
tech? Is it text based? How does it work?
No, you still moved your little dude around the screen. They didn't show any of the movement, unfortunately, on here.
Okay.
And a lot of, I mean, most of it was text based. The neat thing about it was, like I said, it came with a book, and the book was called the Dreamweb Diary, and it just read through this guy's life, and it started normal, and then he lived in an apartment. He was by himself. He started having trouble sleeping.
So the game itself came with a book for you to read.
The game came with a book, and the book, you had to read the book to get into the storyline, and the story of the book would reference a storyline. And it was great, dude. Like, you'd have to have the book in hand to sit and play the game. He'd be like, I felt this way in the game, or like, I had this dream on November 5th. And he's talking to somebody in the game about it. So you have to go to his diary that you're reading to that date. And, it was, people don't put thought like this into stuff.
No, I'm about to say, dude, you gotta think about the amount of effort and detail that takes, dude. This is crazy.
When you look at the game, it looks shitty, like compared to today's standards. But dude, I must have played that game for 50 fucking hours.
So
no joke.
How far back do you guys like? I remember on like old Macintoshes in like the early 90s, there was like, I remember the first color Mac, I think it was the Amiga, maybe. There was Myst. Do you remember Myst?
Oh, dude, Myst was the game.
Right, and it was like this weird, like you're on this island and everything's a puzzle.
The island of Myst.
It's all these engines that you need to get to like align, all these puzzles that unlock the bridge to go to the next thing, and like everything. And they don't tell you fuck all. Like there's no guides. There was no like, it was just like, hey, have fun, figure that shit out.
I've never beat a Myst.
Oh, it's, you know what? And like by today's standards, it's not a fun game. But back then it was just like mind-blowingly innovative. It was like I'm in this 3D space solving these like very like intellectual.
The 3D space
puzzles.
Was you click left and right to look, and it was just the picture, but it was the drawings.
The graphics were actual rendering, the rendering of the graphics, and it was like full color. And I think they made like Myst 2, and I think they might have made another one after that.
What's this? Oh yeah, there you go. Welcome. I remember we used to.
Oh, so Crystal Quest. Oh God.
Crystal Quest.
Yeah, this is like a text-based game, right?
Is this like Hunt the Wumpus?
It's.
So they're loading it up. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. Oh yeah. Okay. So
look at this.
1988. Jesus Lord, I wasn't even alive then.
Yeah, there was a lot.
I was 11.
Weird old.
I'm over here thinking about old games like Math Blaster and
Macintosh.
Oregon Trail.
Sean, do you remember Major Muds when the dial-ups came out?
No.
Multi-user dungeons?
No.
No?
I don't recall that. No.
Oh man, dude, Mud. So you had to have like a BBS phone number, and you dial up to like somebody's BBS server. This is how old I am. Well, we were the same age.
I'll tell you one of the first PC games that I can ever remember, like physically owning, like or playing on a PC, like that was different than just the regular text-based scroll. Was this one right here, dude?
Oh, dude, I loved Redneck Rampage. I love Redneck Rampage.
God,
I remember. Do you guys remember Leisure Suit Larry?
Dude, I have every one of them on Steam.
No, you don't.
The whole Leisure Suit Larry collection. Now, there's one thing that nobody remembers, and I will tell you this: there was a Leisure Suit Larry casino. You could play online with people, and so you'd have 4 people sitting, and you'd make your own kind of like Leisure Suit Larry-esque character. You'd play blackjack, craps, poker, roulette, all of them.
That's awesome. How I never heard of that.
Dude, Jacob, see if you can find a little Leisure Suit Larry casino. Dude, this was the shit. It was a multiplayer Leisure Suit Larry game back in the day. I've played every one of them. So I had a friend of mine who and we're going way back, and it's going to be a little inappropriate. So guys, if you guys have kids watching the show, get them out of the room. That doesn't happen. I had a buddy. His name was Jason, and his father was a software developer for a company in Japan. And he would travel I went to a private school, so all these kids were rich. You know what I mean? This kid would travel back and forth and bring me games from Japan on disc. And one of the first, Jacob, I swear you need to look this up. It's called Return to Cobra Island, Cobra Mission. It was the first hentai quasi-nude game, it not full nudity, brought to America ever. And this kid brought it to me on 6 floppy disks with the codes to unlock the doors, because you couldn't have them unless you actually had the Jap.
Right.
It was a stupid ass game, but there was like,
what was it called?
It's called, look up Cobra Mission. Type in Cobra Mission. Dude, this is something else. Well, I was a voice in a porn game.
Oh wait, you told me about this.
Yeah, I was in Bonecraft. We've shown that trailer on this show a couple of times, but yeah, I did that. That was fun shit. But yeah, check out Cobra Mission if you can find it. It almost it's a totally hentai game. Now the gameplay was pretty cool, but one of the things in this game, dude, check this out. There was this one guy you found in this city. He tells you, if you bring me panties, I will give you pictures that I've taken of girls. So you'd have to search plants, search behind the bar, and every once in a while you'd find a pair of panties, and you'd give them to the guy, and he'd give you a picture. This is what the game looked like.
Jeez,
I
remember playing games like this on undergrounds.com, dude, or Newgrounds.
Yeah, dude. Fast forward a little bit, but listen to even the audio. There you go. No, right there. They don't show it because they blurred it out for YouTube. But yeah, you had the start of the game was a telescope. You could look at the girls on the island, and it was a whole thing. But fast forward to here's the gameplay. This is what it looked like. You're the guy in the middle.
Mario. It's like Super Mario.
Oh my god, look at the UI.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it great? This is the shit that
yeah.
What? How old was I?
I still have the urge to go back and play fucking Oregon Trail.
So.
Oh yeah. you can get it in little mini handhelds now.
This is what 14-year-old Spicy used to get it off to when things happened.
This game.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this was the gameplay. Yeah, you'd shoot the guy, and then he'd have his turn-based, of course. And you'd have to decide where his weak spots are in order to shoot him or punch him or use a weapon. The storyline was deep and involved. It was so involved, it was ridiculous.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just silly, right? The gang member received 94 damages. So Japanese translation.
Yeah.
So we can't end the episode without, of course, talking about our election. We have to get there just for a minute because that's what's going on. But I will say this before I let you guys give your opinions. Is Joe Rogan not only the comedy gatekeeper like he is, but also the political gatekeeper? Because I think the only reason that guy gave his endorsement to Trump is because Kamala wouldn't come on, because he's talked some shit about Trump on his show. So why the endorsement? Was it because Kamala wouldn't come on? That's what I'm wondering. Is he trying to be the gatekeeper of politics now too? I'm just saying, if she would have come on, I wonder if he would have endorsed her. But she said no because she was famous for not going. And I like Kamala to a degree. Here's my point.
Didn't something happen earlier this year where Joe Rogan was saying that he wasn't going to endorse Trump, and he got a huge amount of blowback? Yes. And then he's like, no, I'm not endorsing Kennedy or Kamala or anybody else. I'm just I think he knows where his bread is buttered. I'm not gonna,
That's what I'm thinking. He actually caved.
I think whether Joe Rogan endorsed Trump or not, I think everybody knows where Joe Rogan stands politically, right? Was anybody shocked and surprised? You know,
I was a little bit that he actually came out and I thought he'd remain silent.
I don't think
thought
it really. I don't think it really
I'll
matters.
tell you
either
what,
way.
this year was
I think it
definitely
did
one
matter.
of the
I
one
think
of
it
the
mattered
more,
some.
this year was definitely one of the more times, or if not the most, we've ever heard of Hollywood speaking out to actively like push a particular candidate.
This and the Obama one. A lot of Hollywood came out for Obama for his first term.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Like I said, we and I want to put this out to the audience as well as you too, but you know, we all have our different political views on the Phat and Spicy Show, on the Phat and Spicy team, the Phat and Spicy audience, and that's something that makes this show great, is that we can all talk about stupid shit and have our own opinions about it, talk about it here, and at the end of the show, I'll be friends. So, you know what, guys? It doesn't matter who's president. Like I said, we're all going to wake up tomorrow, take care of our families, take care of our kids, go to work, put gas in the car, whatever. So that's my feeling about it. And I got nothing more to say about political shit on this show for at least a year, I guess, until somebody fucks something up.
Yeah, probably wise. Yeah. I will just say, I'll just say this. Sorry, I know I'm cutting you off.
Yep.
Like, nobody's talking about anything being rigged anymore, are they?
No, nothing was. We forgot to rig this one, dude.
Yeah,
you and I forgot to rig.
I was like,
election.
if they could rig it when Trump was president, but they can't rig it now. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's just. I just want to put that out there. Like, either it's always rigged or it's never rigged. You can't like kind of pick and choose. You know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of like flat Earth. Either everything is
like,
flat or everything's round.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's where I'll leave it. It's either always rigged or it never is. You can't like pick and choose. You can't, you can't only love your country when you win.
That's final word on this one, man.
I
I put him right on the spot.
I don't really have a like I said, I'll tell you like I tell everybody else. This year I was not versed in each candidate's own like political campaigns enough to give an honest opinion. So if I gave one, it would be very biased and very misinformed. So that's why I just stay out of it. Because this year I did stay out of it.
Okay.
My brothers, everybody, my dad, everybody voted. Everybody voted. My lady voted. Everybody voted. I did not vote.
So for anybody who's watched the Phat and Spicy Show, that is the fattiest answer that fat could ever fat.
Yeah. But I tell you, like I said, I just explained why I didn't vote. If I would have voted, it would have been on the premise of influence from my peers around me.
Okay.
I think a lot of people do the same thing. Yeah.
And that's not, to me, that's not something that I live by or stand by. Like if I'm not going to go and be like, hey man, you should get the fish, man. It's really good. I don't fucking like fish. I'm not going to get the fish. I don't give a fuck how good you think it is. Like I'm going to get the chicken tenders because that's what I like. That's what I want. Because why? Because I know the tenders taste good.
You don't like fish?
No, it's just for sake of the explanation, dude.
Do you like fish?
Yeah, I like fish, man. I like fish sticks, like fish fillets.
Fish sticks. All right. On that note, I think we should wrap it up. We're a little late already. And I want to try this Chat GPT thing.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's where it's at, dude. Let's see. I'm gonna show you guys real quick some of that a little bit of that what we call TCG.
Yeah. Show me some of this.
This is me.
So my kids love watching. This is the guy they watch play. This is the guy.
This is the guy. That's fucking nerd.
Oh, did you? You got the one with the Yu-Gi-Oh mod.
He got the Yu-Gi-Oh.
So they have a Magic the Gathering mod that I want to do because then the cards actually like make sense. They're just not like made up like card game cards.
Yeah, so I did mod mine. I had to.
Had to.
Yeah, because you like whatever game you're into, like I don't like Pokemon, and it's not even real Pokemon. It's like fake, made up Pokemons or whatever in the game. Be way better if it was.
So there you go. You start off. You get they got the Dragon Ball Z 1-2 that I thought was pretty cool. My brother was actually playing that one beside me. While I'm playing this one, he's right beside me playing the Dragon Ball Z one. And I tell you guys, the Dragon Ball Z expansion one and the Pokemon one are probably one of the best ones because they went like all in. The plushies and everything with Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z. My plushies were regular plushies. There was a lot of things that were just regular from the regular game. So some of the stuff did get changed and some of it didn't. You know,
it's funny because when I played, I wasn't selling plushies. I was like, "Fuck it, this is a card store. I'm not selling." I was like, "I'm selling sleeves and cards." Like,
yeah, right off the bat,
sleeves and cards.
Right off the bat, look at that heart of the cards shop.
Heart of the cards. Baby.
That's it, baby. That just came to me like right there. I was like, "That's it."
Wow.
But as you get in there, you know, you start to, you say, unbox those. So I got all these boxes. I'm like, I gotta get inventory. Trying to figure out
how much time do you spend actually opening packets?
No, the fucked up thing is all the time you spend spraying stinky people with deodorant.
Oh my god! You know what I started doing?
That's a thing.
That's a thing in the game because you have to make like a game space with tables for people to play, and stinky people come in, and you have to spray them with deodorant, or people complain. Or you can get these automatic scent sprays that like spray people when they come in, so you don't have to do it. You don't have to deal with it. It's you know it's like I have to say it's not very flattering to card gamers.
To card gamers. Is this the next game Spicy's gonna have to buy?
It's like $15. It's totally worth it. If you get like 4 or 5 hours of pleasure out of it, it's worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you buy more shelves, you buy like gaming tables, you buy like you buy like places to store your product. You can hire people to ring people up or to restock the shelves and stuff. And you can just open cards and then you like start displaying and selling the more expensive cards. You can make money off of that.
What do you do with the shit cards?
You put them into a bundle.
You bulk them. And then you sell the bulk packages. So they've kind of thought of everything. And then you end up spending money to make your store bigger. Like because you run out of room.
Yeah, dude.
I got you.
Yeah,
I hate to cut this short, guys, but I really got to hit the piece of do.
All right,
this beer's catching up with me.
This one interaction with these customers.
All right, show me before I wet myself.
You want to leave a tip? Huh?
You want to leave a tip?
What's up, my boy Jeffrey? What's up, player? Nah, I'm not saying that because I say it there.
Fucking, this is Fatsy, dude. Fatsy will just sit here and RP out every interaction that he has with every customer. I love him so much. This is my boy.
Did you want to give anything to the starving kids? Okay, fuck them kids, right?
Fuck them kids.
It's beautiful.
Anyways, dude, yeah, like I said, it's been fun, guys. Guys, don't forget that if you are new here, don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe, guys. Head on over to our YouTube channel at the PNS Studios to find all of our future content, old content, and some content that you won't hear about because it's behind the pint. Right?
We're working hard on getting a new episode up. It's really tough right now, putting everybody's schedules together, but we are trying to get one real soon out for you guys.
There you go, guys. Last but not least, I'm Fat.
I'm Spicy.
This has been the Phat and Spicy Show, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks
Sean,
for having me.
Awesome, dude. So fun.
Yeah, good times.
All right, so we're gonna leave right now so we can all go play this thing on Chat GPT. Can we multiplayer that?
That's exactly. I don't know. I wonder about maybe that'd be cool, right?